Mic check 2.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3.
Hey, 1 2 3 4 5. 1 2 3 4.
You can count on. This is Channel.
Nearly 2.5 months.
With coverage you can count on. This is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Cameron Taylor, and thank you for joining us. It's certainly been a cold night here in the Tennessee Valley. Let's get a first look at the forecast with meteorologist Nick Austin. And Nick, tomorrow might be even colder.
Oh yeah, we're going to drop into the 20s overnight because all the clouds will be leaving us. But right now it's not so bad outside. A really kind of a pretty night as we're getting some breaks in the clouds. This is our live downtown Holiday Inn camera. Look at the beautiful lights on the aquarium too. It's that time of the year, the holidays rolling around, and it's still snowing up in parts of the Smokies from Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, up into the Knoxville metro area. Probably still a few flurries there, but not much happening across our viewing area. The radar is clear for us, but we still have some clouds. It's 34 degrees in the city. Winds have been dying down a bit, but there's still a bit of a wind chill. It feels like it's 27 here in the city, even colder in the higher elevations. So tonight and tomorrow night too, when we drop down in the 20s for a lot of areas, just remember you want to bring your plants inside or cover them up if you have any plants that are outside, might not survive the cold. Leave those faucets in a slow drip and make sure you open up those cabinets under the sinks too. Let the air flow around the pipes. And bring your pets inside. Let them spend the night inside when it's going to get this cold, especially down below freezing for several hours. So we'll have more on the Sunday forecast. We'll have a lot of sunshine tomorrow, and it gets even warmer for Monday, but I'll let you know if that warmer weather sticks around through the week. I'll be back in a bit with the 7-day forecast.
All right, thank you, Nick. We'll see you in a few. A woman rescued from a burning home in Lookout Valley finally gets to say thank you to her rescuers. Chattanooga firefighters responded to that house fire on Centro Street back in September, and Channel 3's Casey Freeman shows us the heartfelt reunion.
Nearly 2.5 months after the house fire, Carrie Gann is reunited with the 3 firefighters who rescued her from large flames and heavy smoke. She also got to hug the dispatcher who was on the phone with her the whole time.
It's hot. Please hurry. I'm feeling a sound.
45-year-old Carrie Gann was trapped in her home on Centro Street after a fire started early in the morning on September 20th. Gann immediately called 911.
911, what's the location of your emergency?
She says it felt like she was on the phone for hours, but the call lasted less than 10 minutes. The home in Lookout Valley is now unlivable. Gann says it was hard for her to go back to look at her home after the fire.
And I happened to glance at the house, see my bedroom window, and I'm just like, there's no way I could have gotten out of that.
2 men were able to make it out of the house with minor injuries, but Gann's 2 dogs did not survive. She says they were like her children.
It's hard. I've not been able to cry over them yet. I think I'm afraid if I start, I won't know how to stop.
When firefighters rushed into the burning home to save Gann, they found her unresponsive on the floor. After spending 5 days in the ICU because of smoke inhalation at Vanderbilt, she now has the opportunity to be reunited with her saviors.
I love them for this, for what they did that night. I could never repay them for that.
Gann says as soon as she's up to it, she'll do something a little more permanent to honor the man who saved her, like a tattoo.
The firehouse emblem, underneath it, it'll say Firehouse 20, and it'll say my personal heroes, and it'll have all 3 of these guys' names on it.
Gann was given her own fire department hoodie during the reunion and hopes to be an advocate for Chattanooga firefighters. In the studio, Casey Freeman, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Casey. A SWAT situation in Chattanooga ends with a man in custody. In the last 30 minutes, police told us the man came out of a home on Halsey Street. It started as a domestic assault call around 6 o'clock tonight. That led to the SWAT team being called in. Now, at the time, police told us that the man was believed to have had a weapon. We're told he'll be charged with simple assault. Well, we're working to learn more about a serious crash that happened on I-24 in Marion County. The Tennessee Highway Patrol is investigating the wreck, and they tell us it happened on I-24 West at mile marker 138. We'll be sure to pass along any updates we receive from the THP. Crews from Tennessee American Water are trying to fix a water main break at Market and King Street in downtown Chattanooga. You're looking at video sent in by a Channel 3 viewer. Now, the break was reported between 8 and 8:30 tonight. We reached out to Tennessee American Water officials to find out when it will be repaired, but we have not heard back from them. New details on a shooting in Whitfield County from last night. The Whitfield County Sheriff's Office has identified the suspect in the shooting. Bertram Beck is wanted for home invasion and aggravated assault. Deputies say Beck forced his way into the home of his estranged girlfriend on Prince Way and shot her. A warrant has been issued for his arrest. Now, if you have any information about where Beck might be, call the Whitfield County Sheriff's Office. Chattanooga police are investigating an early morning shooting at a convenience store. Happened just before 1 o'clock this morning at the MAPCO on Lee Highway. When police officers arrived at the scene, they found a store clerk who had been shot. He told police that a man with a gun came into the store and demanded money. Officers say that man jumped the counter, shot the clerk, and ran away. The victim was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. If you have any information, call Chattanooga Police. Well, Christmas came early for some families here in Chattanooga. Today, Redemption to the Nations Church held its 6th Christmas share. It was an opportunity for families to shop for Christmas toys at no cost. More than 300 volunteers helped put on the event. and organizers say it's all about helping neighbors.
Have fallen on really hard times, and so when they come in, we're greeting them with a smile and hot chocolate and candy canes and free gifts, and it's about sharing the love of God, really.
More than 1,500 children were helped. The church raises money in the weeks leading up to the event to buy the toys. The local Toys R Us helps out too by giving the church 15% off toys. Up next here on Eyewitness News at 11, firefighters in California continue to battle the wildfires that burned nearly 800 structures. Welcome back. California Governor Jerry Brown toured Ventura County neighborhoods today that were ravaged by the week-long Thomas fire. In total, 6 large wildfires have burned about 175,000 acres and destroyed nearly 800 structures across Southern California this past week. Now, fire officials say more than 8,500 firefighters and 1,200 military personnel are working to battle the fires. They say they were driven by extremely dry conditions and gusty Santa Ana winds. So far, officials have confirmed 1 fatality in the fires. President Donald Trump issued an emergency declaration to allow counties affected by the wildfires to receive federal aid. The U.S. Navy is joining forces with California firefighters to battle against a raging wildfire that's ravaged San Diego County this week. The Navy dispatched 2 Seahawk helicopters from Camp Pendleton, California, to help contain the Lilac fire. Naval officials say the choppers are specially equipped to perform aerial water drops in the flames. They say each bucket holds about 420 gallons of water and allows the aircraft to pick up water from a river or the ocean and dump it on the wildfire. Now, in addition to air support, the Department of Defense says about 1,300 members of the California National Guard had been activated to help contain the wildfires on the ground. About 4,500 portable generators are being recalled due to a fire hazard. The recall involves Westinghouse iGen 2500 and iPro 2500 portable inverter generators used to power appliances, cell phones, or other electronic devices. There have been reports of the recall generators overheating and catching on fire. Now, they were sold online from June through October. Consumers should stop using the generators and contact MWE Investments to arrange for a free repair. We have that information on our website and in our mobile app. Well, next here on Eyewitness News at 11, winter weather has caused havoc in Georgia. We'll have a look after the break.
You can count on this. With coverage you can count. With coverage you can count on, this is Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 11.
A blast of winter weather slammed parts of the Channel 3 viewing area yesterday and today. Snow flurries blanketed both lower and higher elevations in southeast Tennessee and most of Georgia. Now, while it may look like a winter wonderland in northwest Georgia, the roads have been wet and slick. It's why officials are shifting their concern from snow to ice.
The roads are really wet, and so if we don't have some wind to dry out the road, we could be looking at black ice or slick roads.
Not something to mess around with. Dalton Public Works and Whitfield County EMA crews say they were prepared for this. They watched the forecast for the last 24 hours to get updates on the conditions. The Emergency Operations Center said they have been in activation mode since Friday morning, on standby to prepare and respond to any trouble spots for drivers. Thousands of people living in Georgia found themselves in the dark this morning after overnight snowstorms knocked out power to homes across the state. Utility workers had a huge task on their hands as they tried to restore power to an estimated 278,000 customers in North and West Georgia. Now, as for residents themselves, it was an all-hands-on-deck mentality as they removed downed trees and cleaned up other issues. The winter weather also caused several transformers to explode. While we haven't had that here in our area, we've had a little bit of that. Meteorologist Nick Austin standing by for what we can expect for tomorrow. Nick?
Well, Cameron, the biggest snowfalls for our viewing area were in the high elevations of Georgia. Parts of Fannin County and over into Blairsville, which is in Union County. Some folks watching us from there, believe it or not, and they had about a foot of snow in some parts of those counties. And even in the Atlanta metro area and some of the northwest suburbs, they had measurements of 10 or 11 inches. So pretty amazing stuff, especially because it's so early in the season. They get that much snow across any parts of the South. Even down in Mississippi, they had snow. And Even parts of western Florida had some snow flurries. So, but it's quiet right now. We have no snow in the city or anywhere across our viewing area. It's a pretty nice night as the clouds are starting to kind of break apart, and we'll see skies clearing through the night. Low to mid 30s from Nashville right here into Chattanooga. It's 34 degrees here in the city. Northwesterly winds at 8 miles an hour, so not quite as breezy as it was earlier this evening. There's still a bit of a wind chill out there, though. There's a bite in the air. 34 Cleveland, 30 in Athens, 28 Altamont, and it's down to 29 in Blue Ridge, Georgia. These are the actual air temperatures. In these cities where, like here in Chattanooga, where there is some wind blowing, it feels like it's 30 degrees in Athens, 22 in Blue Ridge. It's actually calm winds in Athens, so that's the same as the temperature. But up in Altamont, it feels like 22, and down in Dalton, it feels like 24. So there is that bite in the air, but the winds are going to get even lighter through the rest of the night. Still snowing up in the Smokies. Look at this. Along the spine of the Appalachians, Maryville, there might be a few flurries here and there from Gatlinburg into the Knoxville metro area. Still snow falling as well. That's all pushing off to the south and east. It's not moving towards us. Well, we're just waiting for even colder air to come in behind this cold front. This front is just going to reinforce the cold air. It's going to keep things cold across the Tennessee Valley as we head into the overnight hours and through the rest of the weekend. We might have a couple of warmer days for this upcoming work week where temperatures get back in the 50s, but overall it's going to be nice the rest of the night as skies clear out. We'll see lots of sunshine tomorrow, just a few patchy clouds, and tomorrow night heading right into Monday too, things stay really nice and quiet. Some west to southerly winds will kind of bring a little bit of that warmer air in on Monday. It's going to have a hard time doing it tomorrow as that cold air mass just stays right on top of us. But should be nice overall tomorrow if you just bundle up. There'll be some shivering going on if you don't dress warmly enough. No rain or snow today out at Level Field, and it only reached 43 for the high. That's 10 degrees below normal, and our low was 30 degrees this morning, which is a few degrees below normal. So pretty cold day, even by December standards. 41 in Dalton was the high today, 43 Chatsworth. Up on Fort Mountain, it was only 30 for the high temperature. 7-inch snow total from yesterday and today. 44 in Red Bank was the high today, just 36 up on Mowbray Mountain, 41 Cleveland, pretty cold stuff even for early December. 41 out in Murphy. Delano in northern Polk County, just 39 degrees. Spring City and 10 Mile only topped out at 42. And it was just 37 on Cagle Mountain and just 35 in Altamont. And Jasper only hit 44. The temperatures tomorrow aren't going to be a whole lot better, but there will be a lot of sunshine. Tonight, decreasing clouds. That will continue to be the trend tonight. Cold, 25 for the high here in the city. Tomorrow up to 44 if we get just enough sunshine. There'll be a few clouds here and there and not quite as windy, but it will be cold, so dress warmly as you head out to church tomorrow morning or heading to Sunday brunch. 28 degrees late tomorrow night, mostly clear, and you got to bundle up most of the work week too. 7-day forecast doesn't have a lot of warm weather, but at least on Monday I think we'll crack 50 degrees. We'll try for 53 on Monday with lots of sunshine, lows in the 20s and 30s all week. And then we'll have another little cold front come through on Monday night. So Tuesday and Wednesday are going to be cold again, back to the low 40s, maybe back to the 50s by Thursday if we're lucky. But very, very little chance for any rain or snow this week. It's going to be quite dry. So, you know, you have to put a lot of the hand lotion on, the moisturizer. But other than that, it's just going to be cold most days. So we're just not going to be able to break this cold snap for a while.
Yeah, you walk outside and you immediately need that heavy coat because otherwise you're going to freeze.
Gloves, scarves, everything. All that warm weather clothing. You're going to need it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Nick.
You bet.
All right. A giant Christmas cake was unveiled in Dresden today as part of the city's 24th annual Stolen Fest. The huge Stolen cake weighed more than 3 tons. Now, Stolen is a bread-like cake traditionally made in Germany and usually eaten during the Christmas season. Visitors lined up at the Christmas market to buy a piece of Stolen, which was baked especially for the event, and proceeds from the cake will be donated to charity. The Stolen Festival tradition dates back to 1730. Ingredients of the cake include almonds, sultanas, wheat flour, and candied orange. Good stuff right there. Up next in sports, the Tennessee men's basketball team continues its hot streak against Lipscomb. Joel Jelinek has the highlights. Plus, there's a new Heisman Trophy winner in town. We'll have all that and more when we come back.
introduce your new football coach, Jeremy Pruitt. And I am very honored to introduce your new football coach, Jeremy Pruitt. And I am very honored to introduce your new football coach, Jeremy Pruitt. And I am very honored to introduce your new football coach, Jeremy Pruitt.
The welcomes just keep on coming for Coach Pruitt. During the men's basketball game today, Athletic Director Philip Fulmer introduced Coach Pruitt to a packed house in Thompson Bowling Arena. And as you heard, he was immediately greeted with thunderous applause. While most of the focus this past month has been on finding a head coach for Vols football, the Tennessee men's basketball team is off to its best start in 7 years. Earlier this week, the Vols were ranked in the AP poll for the first time since 2010, coming in at number 24 on the top 25. Today, Tennessee played host to Lipscomb, and, well, Grant Williams put on quite the show. Williams slams the dunk to put the Vols up by 10. He would lead all scorers for UT with 19 points on the night. The Vols were up 40-27 at halftime, but Lipscomb never stopped fighting and would bring it within 3 in the second half. But that's when Williams went on to score 15 of his 19 points, helping fuel UT's offense, which shot 42% from the field. Vols win their 4th straight, 81-71 that final. Tennessee will now have a little time off before hosting 10th ranked Carolina in an already sold out game December 17th. In a little less than a month, 2 of college football's newest head coaches will go head-to-head in the Rose Bowl. At 34 years old, Oklahoma first-year head coach Lincoln Riley is the youngest head coach in all of the FBS. Kirby Smart, on the other hand, is in his 2nd year as head coach of the Dogs, and he has a hard time believing he's the veteran coach in this game.
No, I couldn't imagine that. I followed his career. He's done a tremendous job. A lot of the time that I was a defensive coordinator, and you know, when you have opportunities to get a head coaching job, everybody's $1 million question is who's your offensive coordinator, and he was a guy that was on the radar for a long time, and then he got his own, and he's done a tremendous job.
Speaking of that Oklahoma offense, Sooners quarterback Baker Mayfield made history tonight, becoming the first ever walk-on to win the Heisman Trophy. Mayfield was the favorite to win the award, having the best completion percentage in the nation and recording over 4,300 passing yards for 41 touchdowns. He is now the 6th Oklahoma player to join the Heisman Club. Stanford's Bryce Love was the runner-up, followed by Louisville quarterback and last year's Heisman winner Lamar Jackson. Postseason bowl games don't officially start up until next week, but there was one college football game on today, and it wasn't just any other game. It was the Army-Navy game. The Black Knights and the Midshipmen have been going at it since their first meeting back in 1890. Last year was a big deal when Army snapped Navy's 14-game winning streak. And well, this year both teams had a battle through some pretty serious snow. The Black Knights got on the board first thanks to this 3-yard score by Darnell Woolfolk. But the Midshipmen answer back in the second as Malcolm Perry takes off running 68 yards for the Navy touchdown. Army led 14-13 going into the final minutes of the game. Navy had a chance to win it here with a field goal. Wait for it, 14-13. Navy could win it, but the kick is no good. Time expires, and for the first time since 1996, Army has defeated Navy in consecutive seasons. Now, one of my favorite stories I want to share with you guys. Earlier this week, the Tennessee Titans partnered with Academy Sports and Outdoors to help make the holiday season a little brighter for some kids. They hosted an event with the YMCA of Middle Tennessee, and they brought in 100 kids to the Titans practice facility and surprised all of them with brand new bikes. Christmas came a little early for those kids. Awesome event for the Tennessee Titans. I believe this is their second year they've done it, and no doubt they'll keep doing it for them.
A lot of happy faces right there.
Oh, yeah.
I think the video that was catching a lot of people's attention, though, was that Army-Navy game. I mean,
oh
a lot of people might be asking here, why are they still playing in that?
Yeah,
you know, there's all the snow.
They're Army-Navy. They'll play through anything.
Because here, we'll just shut down the game. We won't even play, so, you know. That's all
for flurries.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's totally, I mean, that was in Philadelphia when they played.
It's a little different.
It's different up
there.
They're
used to it.
They're used to that stuff. So, anyway, but, you know, a lot of folks who got the big snow amounts, like some of the folks watching us from some of those mountains and down in Georgia, they loved it. I mean, they sent great pictures. They were enjoying it and everything. And
Cherokee County, North Carolina, got a lot of great pictures from viewers up there, and some in Polk County too. So all good stuff. And
you know, the edge of the snow just missed Chattanooga. I mean, we didn't get a whole lot. South Cleveland got about an inch. One of our viewers from there, but. Anyway, you know, maybe next time we'll get the snow here in Chattanooga, but we'll be in the 20s early tomorrow morning. It's going to be really chilly as you head out to church. We're only going to be in the 40s for highs tomorrow. Hopefully we'll crack 50 on Monday. I think we will with enough sunshine, 53, but another little cold snap with low 40s again on Tuesday and Wednesday. Boy, later in the week, maybe 50s again, so kind of back and forth there with 20s and 30s at night. Very little chance of any rain or snow this week, though. It's going to be pretty dry, just chilly.
Stay bundled up.
That's right.
Okay, a simple retweet is to blame for one student's extreme holiday spirit. You're going to want to check this out right here. University of Alabama junior Kelsey Hall posted a picture of herself in a Christmas tree costume, saying she would wear this outfit for the remainder of the semester if she received 1,000 retweets.
Oh,
guess
Lord.
what? She received 30,000.
Wow.
So as promised, she's been wearing the festive piece, but says it's not the attention she wanted. All right, that's it for us. Have a great night.
D2, D1, D2, wipe to D4. 1, 2, 4.
And I'm very honored to introduce your new football coach, Jeremy Pruitt.
The welcomes just keep on coming for Jeremy Pruitt. During the men's basketball game last night, Athletic Director Phil Fulmer introduced Coach Pruitt to a packed house in Thompson Bowling Arena. And as you heard, he was immediately greeted with thunderous applause. While most of the focus this past month has been on finding a head coach for Vols football, the Tennessee men's basketball team is off to its best start in 7 years. Earlier this week, the Vols were ranked in the AP poll for the first time since 2010, coming in at number 24 on the top 25. Saturday, Tennessee hosted Lipscomb, and well, Grant Williams put on quite the show. Williams slams the dunk to put the Vols up by 10. He would lead all scorers for UT with 19 points on the night. The Vols were up 40-27 at halftime, but Lipscomb never stopped fighting and would bring it within 3 in the second half. But that's when Williams went on to score 15 of his 19 points, helping fuel UT's offense, which shot 42% from the field. Vols win their 4th straight, 81-71 that final. Tennessee will have a little time off before hosting the 10th-ranked Carolina Tar Heels in an already sold-out game December 17th. Well, last night, Oklahoma Sooners quarterback Maker, really? Let's start from that view. See you, Nick. Last night, Oklahoma Sooners quarterback. Wait 1 sec. Sorry. Just point at me and I'll start. 4, 3, 2. Late last night, Oklahoma Sooners quarterback Baker Mayfield made history, becoming the first ever walk-on to win the Heisman Trophy. Mayfield was the favorite to win the award, having the best completion percentage in the nation and recording over 4,300 passing yards for 41 touchdowns. He is now the 6th Oklahoma player to join the Heisman Club. Stanford's Bryce Love was the runner-up, followed by Louisville quarterback and last year's Heisman winner Lamar Jackson. All right, that's it for sports. I'm Jill Jelnick. I hope you have a sunny Sunday.